Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the A to Jump podcast. I am your host, Jake, as always, joined by my co host, Justin of Justin Games, as episode 11 of the A to Jump podcast. So we're about a year in, and we've done 11 episodes.
Yeah, there's been plenty of issues that have led towards that, but we're doing our best over here.
Yeah, you know, we when we find time, we get a list of all of the nonstop gaming news that is coming in and
Exactly.
try and fit it
And
into like 2 hours.
yeah, we'll catch up on the past 6 months in 2 hours. Shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
Um, I think before we get too far, we need to congratulate Mr. Gooba and Miss Jetpack on 1,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes. Thank you to everybody that watches them. They're very good. Always fun to watch their stuff.
Well, we appreciate that. I have to give all the credit in the world to Jetpack, who is also sitting next to me here. We would not be anywhere near the number we're at if it was just me doing this. So, little round of
Yay,
applause.
Jetpack. Yay, Jetpack. Well, congratulations to both of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, okay, this is Christmas week of the video game industry. We have all these showcases to go through. So far, we've had the PlayStation Showcase, which was a couple weeks ago, which we need to catch up on. We got Summer Games Fest. We've got Day of the Devs. There's still more stuff. There was the Wholesome Direct today. There was Future Game Show today. There's still stuff tomorrow. Plenty more to even catch up on after this episode.
Yeah.
But as always, we're going to start off this episode with a comment recap from last episode. If you stumble upon this video and you say, hey, I like video games, I like other nerdy stuff, whatever, I wonder if they have an opinion on this. Leave a comment down below. I will read it and we'll recap it on the next episode. This one is, we have two from the same person. Might sound familiar to you, Jake, but her name is Rebecca Carr.
I think I know her.
You know her? Okay. We were called out politely.
Yeah.
But we were called out because we did not mention the latest news on the groundbreaking announcement for a new Nancy Drew game. So we apologize to Rebecca, and Jake will fill us all in.
I am so sorry for not bringing this up earlier. But and everyone from that community who's watching this, I sincerely apologize. You guys already know all of this stuff, but Justin, I'll fill you in real quick. So back in 2 months ago now, April 1st, the Nancy Drew developer, Her Interactive, put out a newsletter that had a bunch of little like clues mixed in and puzzles, sort of hinting at a big announcement, or hinting at that there was something in the works, basically, that eventually turned into pretty much like, if not daily, like multiple times a week, they were putting out new puzzles or new just little like snippets at the next game and like where they are in development. And there's way too much for me to remember what all has happened, but there's been new characters announced. There's been locations where they've fully shown like the locations. And we now have the where it takes place, and we have the title.
So what is this title?
It is
new Nancy Drew.
Is Nancy Drew Mystery of the Seven Keys.
Okay.
Which actually about a year ago, the community figured out that Her Interactive had, I don't know what the verbiage is here, but they had taken out a patent on that title or on that phrase. And Jetpack actually made a video about that when it happened, like kind of hinting at, oh, I think this is going to be the title of the next game. And now, a year later, it has been confirmed that's the next game. We don't know a release date yet. If we did, I feel like I should know that. Um,
Right.
we know it takes place in Prague, which the series has
Okay,
never gone to before, so that'll be pretty
which
interesting.
everybody knows what country that's in. It's definitely in
Yeah, yes, it's obviously in
uh
where is Prague?
The Czech Republic.
Czech Republic, of course.
Czech Republic. I was gonna say Italy. Not even close.
I'm not gonna lie, that probably would have been in my top like 3 countries that I guessed.
Never would have. I forget Czech Republic even exists.
Yeah.
But okay, so we're
Well,
going
yeah.
to Prague.
Yeah, that's right.
So we don't have a release date.
We do not have a release date yet, but they're continuing to put out like I have to give so much credit to her interactive marketing team and also the community, because they've just constantly been putting out little bits and pieces. They'll put out like new puzzles and stuff, or they'll just put out like a post revealing something, but then there'll be little sort of puzzles mixed into that. And the community right away, like as soon as that stuff goes up, they're all in the subreddits and
Right.
like Discord chats and stuff, just piecing it together. There's a few creators in that community that have like live streams that where they're like trying to piece it together with the community. It's been really cool to see.
I think what really surprises me about these Nancy Drew games is I didn't know there were Nancy Drew games.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like probably a lot of gamers don't know that Nancy Drew has games and that they're good.
Yeah.
You don't see them at these types of showcases. They don't make appearances. It's just weird to me that maybe like Her Interactive doesn't try to slip something in a trailer into a Nintendo Direct, or not a Nintendo Direct.
Yeah.
I don't know, something.
Yeah. I mean, I think they have had at least a couple console releases.
Okay. Yeah, I guess true. Because if you're only on PC, I mean, what do you? I mean, there is a PC
like the
gaming
PC gaming show, I guess. But
yeah, I wonder if they would slip into that at all.
I don't know. I mean, I've probably said this before, but I didn't even know about them until we started dating and
Sure.
the new game was coming out. So we started, she told me a lot about it, and then whenever we were together, we would play them, and that's how I even learned about them in the first place. And then
Maybe. Sorry, go ahead.
once we started the YouTube channel, we started making content on them, and then that really ramped up, and I've started learning like how big of a community there actually was for it, or how loyal of a community it is.
Yeah, and especially as big as this community is, like you said, because I don't know, it's just kind of weird to me that it's not more popular.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've watched you guys play, I've watched your streams, I've watched your like archives and stuff. They're good puzzle games.
Yeah,
Like they're not some cheaply made, I don't know, microtransaction garbage.
yeah.
They're actually well made games.
Well, I mean, we found out not that long ago. We made a little short, or a little like TikTok on just like kind of joking about the Nancy Drew games, and it got 300,000 views or something on TikTok, and there was countless comments of people saying like, "Oh my god, like I can't believe I found like Nancy Drew on TikTok," and it was like these games are so much bigger than you would ever think, because a lot of people haven't even heard of them.
Did you guys see like a bump in your, maybe not YouTube, but at least like your TikTok following after that?
Oh yeah.
Did you?
I mean, we've posted other Nancy Drew stuff on there, but that one definitely, I think at the time, because we had already had a different video sort of pick up a couple years ago that got us like over 1,000 followers. And I think we gained like another 1,000, if not more, from just that Nancy Drew
Nice.
video, which was really cool.
See, what I kind of don't like about one thing I don't like about TikTok, I spend I spend a lot of time on TikTok.
Yep.
And your guys' stuff like never pops up. Like
Yeah.
on my For You page anyway, like people I follow like rarely pop up.
Yeah.
And I usually forget to swipe over to the following part
Mm-hmm.
to actually get that stuff. I need to remember to go to your page a little more often.
Yeah. I mean, it's so crazy how like all it takes is that algorithm to pick you up, and then,
Mm-hmm. And I've been thinking a lot lately, and I really kind of dove into it last night. Gaming news and stuff sucks on TikTok.
yeah.
I don't know how much you've kind of dabbled in it, but like I obviously love video games. I search video games. Like the algorithm should know that I love video games,
Mm-hmm.
and I very rarely get video game stuff
Yeah.
on my FYP. And like last night, I searched the hashtag gaming news,
Mm-hmm.
and there's like nothing. It's all garbage. Like nobody recapping Summer Games Fest. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not looking at the right place, but there's like nothing.
I think you're onto something there, because
I think it's an untapped market there. Maybe just gamers don't use TikTok that much, but
I mean, I think they do.
I would think they
'cause,
would.
like, I mean, everybody's on there in some capacity.
Yeah, like a third of America is on
but
TikTok.
I can completely agree, because like I don't go on there, like I don't scroll a lot on there myself, but that's mostly because Jetpack will, like, her feed is way better than mine. Like she, especially if I'm gone on a work trip for like 3-4 days or whatever, I'll come back and we'll have like 100 TikToks in our chat, and that's like something that we'll do is we'll just sit down on the couch and I'll put it on the TV, and we'll like watch all the TikToks she sent me
On the TV.
yeah.
That's awesome.
But going off of that, I'm trying to think, like, I feel like most of the time, there's not a whole lot of gaming. And I mean, we both love video games equally, but
Sure.
like a lot of the time, if there's anything, it's like recommendations for some indie games or a specific type of game.
Okay.
It'll be like, here are 5 games you'll like if you like Stardew Valley, or like, here are 5 horror games you may have never heard of, or something like that.
Okay.
But there's
Yeah.
not a lot in terms of gaming news, at least that I've seen.
No, me neither. And like I said, even searching gaming news, and it was last night. It was the night after Summer Games Fest, or a few nights after Summer Games Fest.
Mhm.
There's nothing, nobody.
Yeah.
Like I even searched gaming. I went to profiles and searched through those like gaming TikTok
Mhm.
pages, and nobody was saying anything.
Yeah.
So it might be an untapped market there.
Yeah, maybe.
Jake. Maybe. Anyway, okay. So that was one. Comment. We had
Yeah.
another one on the last episode. I don't remember exactly what we were saying, but I think we were saying something along the lines of we don't like Resident Evil because it scares us and it's hard.
Yeah.
So Rebecca also noted, it's interesting that Jake is a pro with stealth mode games, but Resident Evil style stumps him. It just reminds me of a more stealthy, strategic style game, and I would think he'd like that.
So, thank you, Rebecca, for the comment.
Yes, thank you, Rebecca.
So I think the reason that I haven't really, that even though I do love stealth games, and the reason that Resident Evil 4 never really stuck with me, is because it's just not the type of stealth that I guess I'm into. Because it actually, to me, it doesn't really feel like a stealth game. Like, there's definitely
True.
a strategic aspect to it for sure.
Yeah, because I'm assuming she's kind of referring to how much you like The Last of Us.
Yeah.
I would call them pretty different. Same themes, maybe, but pretty different styles.
Definitely different styles, just in the way, because is there even like a? I mean, I know there is like a crouching mechanic in Resident Evil, but when it comes to the actual shooting part, there's not really any like cover necessarily.
Yeah, definitely no cover.
Like you're kind of out in the open all the
Is
time.
there even crouching in Resident Evil 4?
I thought there was. Maybe there's. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there is. I think I remember in the demo.
It's just certainly not in the original.
Okay.
Because
So,
you can't even move and shoot at the same time
Yeah.
in the original.
which you
Yeah,
can
maybe you're right.
in the remake, as far as I know.
Yeah, you can.
But yeah, I think it's something about like being fully exposed when you're shooting in Resident Evil, or when you're like actively attacking. Because in like The Last of Us, for example, like there is a way to, in most situations, there's a way to stealth around. Like
Yeah.
you can, and that's what I like about it, is you can usually kind of strategize like, all right, if I move over here, I can sneak up behind this guy, and like I can craft a silencer, and I can shoot that person, and they're far enough away that that one won't hear it. Like there's definitely more planning that can go into it for me.
Yeah.
Where with Resident Evil, it's like as soon as I take one shot, it's like everyone's coming for me, and I don't really know. I get too overwhelmed. I don't know where to go from there.
Yeah, I think the game design of Resident Evil is you are supposed to shoot your way out of all these situations. And I feel
Mhm.
like in Last of Us, there's definitely some areas where you're supposed to do that. But like you said, there's also a sneaky way around
Mm-hmm.
just about everything.
Yeah, it's much more fast paced than I can usually handle. I guess, if that's, I don't even know if that's the right way to put that.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, those are my thoughts on Resident Evil 4. Great game. I see that everybody really likes the remake, so I'm happy for them on that. I will watch from a distance.
I'm
Yeah.
good over here.
Mhm.
Thanks.
Yep.
I'm good with my pants unshit in.
Thank you for wording it like that.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so that's our comment recap. Rebecca, and to all the Nancy Drew community, we apologize.
We will be better.
We're very sorry. Very sorry. Jake will be better about updating us on Nancy Drew.
Yep.
Yeah, when we get that release date, he'll share it.
Yeah, we will.
Okay, so
certainly talk about it.
Let's move on to what we've been playing. I know all I've been playing is a little game called Tears of the Kingdom. And I know you've been doing it. You've been playing that a lot too.
Very much so, yes.
How, I don't know if you've checked, how many hours are you in, or can you gander a guess?
If you can fill some airtime here, I can check,
Absolutely.
because I got
So I
my
checked
Switch right
mine-
here.
I checked mine, I don't know, last week. I haven't put much time into it this week, but last week I was at, like, if you go to the profile and your profile, it'll list like your hours, and I think it was like 40.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure how accurate that thing is. I've heard a lot of people say that's not quite right, but I would say that's about right. Yeah, 40, maybe 50.
Okay.
What about you? What are you at?
I'm slacking a little bit compared to you. I'm at about 25.
But that's still good.
Yeah.
Still haven't done any of the phenomenons yet.
No, I did actually. I streamed it a couple days ago, and I did actually
nice.
do some story-based stuff.
Mhm.
I went to the Zora Kingdom and
Oh, you started with the Zora.
started that
Nice.
Zora. Yeah, just because I don't really know what led me to that. I've already unlocked most of the map just from doing the towers, and
Yeah.
been doing a ton of shrines. I think I'm at like 33 shrines or something, and
Okay,
I've just
nice.
been having fun doing that. Like
Oh,
learning
the
the
shrines are my
mechanics
favorite
and
part.
stuff.
Yeah.
Learning all like the new abilities. God, there's so much fun to be
Just
had. Just being
Chef's
creative.
kiss on that stuff. I was describing it to somebody just today.
Mhm.
It's everything Breath of the Wild was on steroids.
Yeah.
It's just bananas the kind of stuff you could do in
Mhm.
that game. It's perfect. It's Ultra Hand is more fun than I thought it would be.
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
it's a huge mechanic of the game. It's like you couldn't do this game without it. But
Yeah.
yeah, I was kind of worried about the building stuff. Like I'm like, maybe I won't dabble in that too much. But it's like you have to.
Yeah.
And they do such a good job. Everything's perfect.
Yeah.
And just the overall game design at all. Like I was texting you like when it came out. I think my favorite part of it so far is that when you get a quest or when you get a side quest or anything, it just says, "Hey, this person's missing in a cave somewhere northeast of here," and they don't give you a waypoint.
Yeah.
You just go look northeast until you find a cave, and then maybe that's the right cave that has somebody in it. That's so much fun. I didn't think I would like that because like the Assassin's Creed games had that, and I'd always turn it off. Like,
Yeah.
I just want to know where I'm going. But now it's like Zelda doesn't really give you that option, so that's really fun. I love that aspect of it.
Yeah. And that's something I think I've brought up before. That's how I wish Red Dead Redemption 2 was,
Yeah,
because you'll get stuff like that all the time where, and it actually does happen organically in the side missions where someone will say, "Hey, I heard about a house that you can rob in north of this town in the woods, and it's got like a white fence in front of it or something." And you can actually go and find that. But then in like the main story quests, it's just like all markers on the map. And usually you can't do anything outside of what those. So like even if you wanted to turn the mini map off, you can do that, but you most of the time have to go to a very specific spot in order to start the mission or to progress. And if you don't do it the way that they intended for you to do it, then you'll get a game over screen. You have to start over.
Yep. And that's like the way the Witcher 3 is. I mean, they'll put everything on that mini map that they can show you. And yeah, it's a different, I don't know, I feel like it's kind of like a different gaming experience just to not do that. Just explore, which is completely the point of these new Zelda games. You're just supposed to explore, go do something, go discover. But yeah, I can't really think of a thing I don't like about it. You know?
Honestly, I think it took everything that was good about Breath of the Wild and just made it better, or like found an alternative that worked. Because like Ultra Hand, that's not like, I mean, the building aspect of it is definitely new, but like you did have like Magnesis and whatever the other one was where you could like was Magnesis the one where you could move stuff around, and then the other like
metal stuff.
Yeah. And like that was always, that was cool, but you could only do that with certain things. Like Ultra Hand is kind of like, did you like that? Because you can do that with everything now.
Literally anything on the map, go ahead and move it.
Yep.
I'm trying really hard to pull out the compendium this time. Because I didn't do that in Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
I would love to be able to do 100% completion on Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
And just to be able to say I have all 2,000 items or whatever. I don't know. It's probably a little high. So I've been just walking around taking pictures of little mushrooms on the ground and trying to get a good picture of the enemies before they kill me.
Yeah. So answer this question for me. Have you been nice to Koroks in this game?
I try really hard. I am not creative enough to do some of those things that people are doing to those poor Koroks. They're just screaming they want their friends while they're being lit on fire.
While they're on a giant catapult or something.
Yeah. I feel bad. Like, they're so cute. Like, I feel bad when I drop them.
Yeah.
Like, there was one, I can't remember exactly where it's at, but he was at the bottom of a ledge. And his buddy was like right at the top of a ledge, but it was too too high to like ultra hand him up there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I got to figure out a way to get him to this ledge because you can't climb with ultra hand on,
Yeah.
obviously. So I got like the Zonai devices, the springs,
Mm-hmm.
and I stacked 2 on top of each other, which he'll bounce higher if you do that.
Mm-hmm.
So I stuck him on top of that, and I whacked the spring, and he couldn't even see him, gone. And I'm like, oh no. So I kept staring, waiting for him to fall, and he just fell like way away from his buddy. Wasn't even close. So I had to go chase him down. Like, I'm sorry. And I spent like 30 minutes trying to catapult him up there, and I just couldn't get the angle right. And I felt bad. But I eventually just picked him up and walked him up there. Like, I just went all the way around the ledge and walked up. Like, this is more trouble than it needs to be. I did want to ask you, you said you've been doing all the towers, right?
Yeah.
I think I have all but one.
Mm-hmm.
There was one tower in like a really rainy area that's covered in like the thorn stuff.
Yeah.
How did you get that one?
I fully looked it up. And
Okay, what
I
did you
will
do?
I will admit that. So I made a like platform thing because it's raining there, right?
It's raining. Yep.
Yeah. So I made a platform to go over the thorns in front of the door,
Okay.
and then I shot it with a fire arrow so that
Okay.
the rain wouldn't put it out, and it was able to
Yep.
burn that up.
Okay. That's exactly what I did.
Okay.
I was like, again, it took me a while.
Mm-hmm.
I told myself when this game came out, I wasn't gonna look stuff up.
Yeah.
Like, I was just gonna try and do it organically, and I'm proud to say I have done that, except for one thing. There's one of the bird guy, I can't remember his name, that's at all the stables.
Yeah.
Have
I
you
think,
gotten that?
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Okay, he's a Zora, or not Zora, a Rito.
Rito.
One of the big birds.
Mm-hmm.
He's at all the stables, and he's like, "Oh, there's a sighting of Princess Zelda, or these guys are looking for her, or whatever." You go and talk to them, and they need you to make a recipe for them,
Mm-hmm.
and it had like rock salt, meat, and Hylian rice was the other
Yeah.
ingredient.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, man, I don't have any of that rice, and I went to like the nearby stores. Nobody had Hylian rice.
That's hard to come by.
I was like, where do I find this? So I looked that up,
Yeah.
and I was like, if you just cut down some high grass, you'll find it. So I was like, oh shit, that was easy. But yeah, I haven't looked anything else up. I've done all but one tower, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
But there's just some things in there. It's funny because like when I do the shrines, and you just come up with some creative way to get through it, I'm like, oh my, I am a genius for thinking of that. And I'm like, no, you idiot, that's how everybody had to do it. It's like that was the way that's probably the way you were supposed to do it. Everybody did that.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're not special. So that's the funnest part about it, is just even if you're not being creative, like you feel really creative.
Mm-hmm.
Like yeah, you said you started with the Zora, but when you go to the Rito phenomenon,
Mm-hmm.
you have to go like really high in the sky,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to get creative on how you get from like Sky Island to Sky Island.
Yeah.
And just some of the contraptions I had to build to do that. That was pretty cool. I took a video of one
Mm-hmm.
that I just barely limped across. And I think another, like, this is so weird but so cool. I think one of my favorite things to do in the game is help that guy with his signs.
Yeah. I've only done
So
one
weird.
of those, I think.
Only one? Oh,
I've only found him one time, as far as I know.
Really?
Yeah.
he's along like the main roads,
Okay.
but I've stumbled, I don't know, maybe a dozen,
Yeah.
if not more. I don't know. He is so much fun helping him.
Mm-hmm.
It just because he's always standing next to one of the building stations
Mm-hmm.
where there's a bunch of wood and wheels and whatever, and you just piece things together to keep that sign from falling over.
Yep.
And some of the things I built is insane. Like, I cannot believe that worked.
Mm-hmm.
And I love how angry he gets if you let it fall over.
Yeah.
This the grunt he he gets so angry. It's the best.
Yeah, one more thing I want to say about
Yeah, go for it.
Tears of the Kingdom. I think it's I have the most fun with it when I do something in a way that wasn't intended.
Mhm.
So specifically with the shrines, because that's probably what I've done the most of. Like if there's a huge chasm that you need to get across or something, and they have things laid out in a way that you're supposed to do it. Like for example, I did a shrine recently where they had like the floating platforms, you know? Have you
Mhm.
seen those yet? Okay.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to like make a path out of those, I assume. But what I ended up doing was just fusing them together with the Ultra Hand along with like this long like platform thing, and I just made a giant ass bridge to get
There you go.
across.
The bridge will never let you down.
And I used it in like two different areas in that because it was like, all right, it helped me get up this little ledge here. So I literally just like picked up this giant thing that I couldn't even turn around because it was too long. And I was like, all right, we're just gonna throw it over here and hope that it works. And it did work. So
Yeah. It's amazing how creative you can get. I haven't used this tactic, but I've seen videos of people using it where like if you have a ball, one of those spheres that you need to get up a platform. So like you walk up the platform, you throw a weapon down towards the ball, fuse the ball to the weapon, and then reverse it. Reverse the weapon
that's
throw,
genius.
and up goes the ball. It's
Hi, kitty. Hi.
giant pain in my ass. But yeah, that's so cool. Like I said, I haven't been in a situation where I need to use that, but it's pretty cool just to be able to use that reverse, because I forget about the reverse one more. I use Ascend constantly. I use Ultra Hand constantly, and then like Fuse. Like I noticed the game is getting really hard. Like as the enemies kind of, they kind of scale up the further you get. Like I was getting my butt kicked a lot, and I'm like, I have no good weapons.
Yeah.
Like all I get are these sticks. I get just really crappy weapons, and I forget about Fuse.
Yeah.
Like the monster parts you can fuse to the weapons. And once I started doing that, okay, now this game's a breeze. Not a breeze, but much easier.
Yeah.
Because now all my weapons do like 20, 30 damage when you start fusing monster parts.
Yeah.
Which it took me a long time, probably about where you're at, before I realized I should be doing that.
I mean, it was recently that I realized in your inventory that you can sort by fuse power or whatever.
Yep.
And now like that's how I've been making all my weapons, is all like, or especially with arrows, if I'm going up against a high powered enemy, I'll like scroll all the way to the left to like the highest powered fuse items, and just an enemy that would have taken me like 20 arrows I can knock down in like 2 or 3.
Yep. That's cool. Are you saving your diamonds? Are you finding diamonds anywhere?
Like actual diamonds, or like rubies and sapphires and stuff?
Actual diamonds.
I have not found any that I know of.
Okay. They're rare. The only just give you a hint: save your diamonds. Don't sell them.
Okay.
Just keep them.
All right. I will remember that.
You'll stumble across to why.
Okay.
But yeah, the rubies, sapphires, opals, I sell all those. I don't see any reason. I think they can dye your clothes with those. But I think there's other things, and I think it's more important to have rupees than to be able to dye your clothes.
Yeah, that's fair.
Especially because some of the outfits, like I don't know if you stumbled across the stealth outfit yet. Because so you got the top, you got the hat, for lack of a better term, shirt and pants. Each one is 5,000 rupees.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So stealth is very, I'm guessing, OP in this
Mhm.
game. So they're making sure you earn that stealth
Yeah.
outfit. That's in Kakariko Village, I believe.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
I
in the
can't. I'm
shop.
surprised I haven't found that yet.
It's
Or
in
I'm,
the shop. So
okay.
go in there.
All right.
But yeah, like armor is kind of hard to hard to come by, and it's expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Did you so gosh, we could talk about Tears of the Kingdom forever.
It'd be a whole episode.
I promise we'll move on shortly. Not Kakariko Village, the other town that I'm forgetting the name of. Hateno Village.
I don't know.
It's the one where Link's house was in Breath of the Wild.
I don't think I've gotten there yet.
Okay. It's near the Zora place.
Okay.
It's the village right next to Zora.
Okay.
There is a side quest there that's very fun.
Mm-hmm.
And you go into I believe it's the clothing shop and talk to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the payoff for it isn't really that great, but it's just it's a fun journey. And if you had done it, we could talk. It's the fashion one. You didn't do the fashion
No.
side quest?
No.
Okay, darn. Well, when you do that one,
Yeah.
I enjoyed that one. That was fun.
We'll talk about that then. I'll
Okay.
put that on the list of things to get
Yeah,
done.
go to Hateno Village and do the fashion.
Okay.
Okay, so let's move on from what we're playing.
Yeah.
Before we talk about Tears of the Kingdom Forever. So we had all these showcases. It's like I said, it's Christmas week. It just doesn't really feel like it. I don't know. Do you get the jitters for Summer Games Fest anymore?
I really did. I mean, honestly, no. Like, not in the way that I did for E3, because
yeah,
for like, no discredit to Jeff Keighley. I mean, like, Summer Games Fest has exploded compared to where it started.
Mm-hmm.
But with E3, it was just like everything came out in those 3 or 4 days. Like, every developer was there. All the the big 3 consoles were there. Like, it gave you something to look forward to because you knew that it was all within this time frame. But now it's like PlayStation Showcase was 2 weeks ago. And then Summer Game Fest is its own thing that I was excited for that. But then I kind of like forget where, like, when everything else is, and like, I don't know. It's not the same in the way where you can just set aside like this amount of time and watch them all, even though they are still all in the same week. It just, I don't know. Some about it doesn't feel the same.
Yeah, I agree. And part of me thinks it's because we're older.
Yeah.
At least I'm older. I don't know. I do still get excited for Nintendo Directs.
I do too.
It's like, what are they? There's so many good Nintendo franchises and stuff. Like, what's going to pop up next? What's coming to Switch now? I mean, that's kind of what used to be the thing. It was like, oh, Witcher 3 is coming to Switch. That's amazing. Or this is coming. So, I mean, they kind of lost their hype. But so 2 weeks ago, we had the PlayStation Showcase is what it was called. It wasn't the State of Play. This was a showcase.
Yep.
Again, nothing amazing, at least not for maybe us. I think the biggest announcement was the Metal Gear Solid game, which I have never touched a Metal Gear game in my life. So I think a lot of other people are really excited about that. Just not me.
Yeah. The only one I've even attempted to play was Metal Gear Solid 5, which is a good game. I probably would like it more if I'd gave it more time.
Yeah.
But it's one of those where, I mean, that was also during the time where I was buying like every new game that came out.
Yeah.
And that happened to drop during a time when there was a lot of games. So I was like, all right, I played it for a few hours. I'm like, all right, I'll come back to this eventually. Just never did. And now we're in a time where I'm not buying every game, but the ones that I want to play usually take up like a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's the boat I'm in now too.
yeah, it's hard to go finish your backlog when you have like Tears of the Kingdom that you could easily put 100 hours into.
Yeah, I can picture myself putting more than 100 hours into that.
Yeah, easily.
But yeah, again, I think our motto here is happy for those people.
Yeah.
That's not for us, but good for you guys.
Yeah. It's still cool to see. I feel kind of bad because I know Kojima was like the brains behind most of the Metal Gear Solid series.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's associated with this remake at all. It's still Capcom.
Oh.
Or not Capcom, Konami.
Konami. Yeah, he's completely left Konami. He's all gone.
Yeah. Which
He left back in the PT
mhm,
drama.
which is I'm still sad that Silent Hills never saw the light of day, because even though I'm not like a Silent Hill fan,
it's coming out still.
yeah, but it's not gonna be. Well, they're making a Silent Hill 2 remake.
And I thought they announced a new one too.
Did they?
Maybe they did.
Maybe, but like I don't know. I know that his influence was a big reason that those games were so successful. So the fact that he's not a part of it anymore kind of feels like it's lost the magic a little bit. Even though for me personally, I never really played them. Like, I know that's a big series for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's going to be something kind of missing. I don't know what, but does that make any sense?
It does. Yeah. Yep. That's a big name, a lot of influence coming from him, because I mean, you look at Death Stranding.
Yeah.
That's a weird game, man. So like not having him in that writer's room or whatever he does there, yeah, it's gonna feel very different.
Yeah.
Okay, so we had Metal Gear Solid. I think the thing I was most excited for was Marathon,
Okay.
which I guess is a remake. I guess Marathon is an older series, which I don't or had never heard of.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that one.
But it's like Bungie's making it, the creators of Halo and Destiny. They worked on Halo, right? Yeah.
Yeah, they were the original
Okay,
Halo
that's what I thought.
developers.
Yep. So from Halo and from Destiny is Marathon. And I think the trailer, whoever they got to do that trailer, like, keep bringing them back.
Mhm.
Like, the trailer like was so good.
Yeah.
It was super cool. It just looks like another first person shooter, probably nothing too creative, but it just, like, the design of it was just really, I don't know, unique. And that'll be something I check out, especially if it's free to play. I mean, like, why not? Let's see. Some more Destiny 2 stuff. I don't play Destiny 2. I probably should, but I don't. What else? Street Fighter 6 stuff. Not into Street Fighter. Oh, they had a big trailer for Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
Big gameplay.
Yeah.
What did you think about that? I know Spider-Man was one of your favorites.
I thought it looked great.
Yeah.
I really like the dual protagonist thing that they're doing. How you can, and from what it sounds like, you can switch between Peter and Miles whenever you want in the open world. And there'll be specific missions and storylines for them individually, but there's also parts in main missions where you'll have to play them for specific purposes and stuff. And I like that. I think it's interesting. I also am excited to see what they do with Peter having the symbiote powers.
Yeah, having the Venom.
Yeah, because that was, I mean, obviously they showed some of his his fight style with that, and it's definitely a lot more like vicious, like Venom would be.
Yeah. Yep.
And he's also, he has kind of the attitude. You can tell it's changing him a little bit. They're going to be doing
Yes.
like Spider-Man 3
Yeah.
situation.
Answer this question.
Mm-hmm.
Yes or no? Will there be a cringy dance sequence?
I swear to God, if they don't do a
if there's not,
if they don't do a Bully Maguire moment, I'm gonna be so mad.
he just what's he do? This is like points
He's
back
like-
and forth or something like that. It's so bad.
It's so good though.
It is. I love Bully Maguire. The
Yeah.
best. See ya, chumps.
I saw a video where somebody put the Bully Maguire lines over the new Spider-Man gameplay, and it
Perfect.
fits so perfectly.
Yes.
Yeah, I hope they do at least a little bit, just a little like nod to the fan base on that one.
Spider-Verse did you?
I haven't
The
seen
first Spider-Verse.
So
the
I did
first one.
see. Yeah, I did see.
Yeah, he's like, and I did that. Yeah, that happened.
Yeah.
Like, yes. Thanks for acknowledging that.
No, I definitely. I definitely hope that they include that in there somewhere. They also completely faked me out with the beginning of the trailer. I had no idea that it was Spider-Man. I don't know about
Trying to
you, but
remember.
I'm not super familiar with I'm familiar with a lot of the Spider-Man villains, but when they started it with Kraven the Hunter, who I had never
heard of him.
So
No.
they just, it's the end of the showcase. It's their big and one more thing moment, and they show this group of hunters in a jungle, and I'm like, I don't know what this is. This is a new IP.
What's going on here? Yeah.
And then they show Spider-Man. I was like, wait a minute, that's not what.
Yeah, what's happening?
Yeah. But no, that was very cool. I'm very excited for that one. And jumping forward just a tad to Summer Game Fest, we have a release date for it now too.
Yeah, it was kind of cool how they separated the two.
Yeah.
I got different showcases,
Mm-hmm.
different information. What is that? October 20th?
October 20th. And
Nice.
another thing that they mentioned that I want to just get Spider-Man out of the way now.
Go for it. Yeah.
At Summer Game Fest, they mentioned that the city size is basically doubled, which is insane.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
New York felt huge in the first one.
Mhm.
And now they've also added, I think, Brooklyn and Queens to it.
There's something else too. Yeah.
There was it was more than that too, for sure. But being able to grow that map more than it already is ridiculous. And this is not, if you don't care about the comic books, it might not make much difference to you, but apparently Venom is not Eddie Brock like he is in the lore, I guess.
They said they wanted a completely original story
Mhm.
for Venom, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I like that they're
Which-
kind of making their own storyline for it.
I had heard on a podcast that said if you finished the first game, you have a pretty good idea who becomes Venom first in this game.
I mean,
I never finished the first one, so I don't know.
I've done everything. I actually did all of the DLC on that one too.
Can't
But
think
it
of
was-
who it would be though.
It was years ago. I mean, the
Sure.
only thing that comes to mind for me is maybe Harry Osborn. But I think
Good old
that's
Harry.
probably not right, or there's probably some character that I'm overlooking.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm excited to see how that storyline goes as well.
Nice. Okay, yeah, so that was their one more thing. They did show an Assassin's Creed Mirage.
Yeah.
Some gameplay, and they gave a release date for that, which is October 12th.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be my October game.
Yeah.
So I think you'll be doing Spider-Man, and I'll probably be doing Assassin's Creed
Yeah.
around that time.
Well,
And
I'll probably dabble in both then, because
think so?
I liked what I saw from Mirage. I have to admit.
Okay, great. Yeah, because it's definitely a return to form
Mm-hmm.
for them. They have deviated pretty far from the I don't know, mythology trilogy
Mm-hmm.
that was Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla.
Mm-hmm.
So these, it looks a lot like, almost looks a lot like Assassin's Creed 1
Yeah.
and 2, just in terms, because we were going back to the Middle East, back Baghdad. I don't remember where we're
I
going.
forget. Yeah.
I forget too. Somewhere in the Middle East.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks a lot like Assassin's Creed 1
Yeah.
in that way. But yeah, we're back to super stealthy. They released a few videos. One I watched last night about how they were calling it like a return to form
Yeah.
of their original games, where you're sitting on benches waiting for your time to strike, and
Mm-hmm.
blending into the crowd, and things that just really weren't the focus of the mythology trilogy. Like, I think you could still do that stustuff,
It
but
was
it wasn't what you were supposed to do.
it was a
You
lot
know,
more like melee combat focused in
100%. Yeah.
the last three games. But personally, and I feel like you're in the same boat, I always loved the like more stealth aspect of it, where it wasn't
100%.
as
Yep.
much about like, taking on high power or like high leveled enemies or whatever and stuff. It was really just about like how do you stealthily get the upper hand on people,
Mhm.
and then, it's a if you have the hidden blade and you can sneak up, it's a one shot kill. Like I loved that. I thought it was so
Yep.
fun to plan out how I was gonna infiltrate something.
Yeah, and that's what like Unity was really good at that,
Mm-hmm.
and oh no,
Syndicate.
Syndicate.
Yeah.
Syndicate, I think, was good at that too. Where, yeah, here's a building, here's your target, find a way to kill him.
Yeah.
That was, I'm sure this one will do that too.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's peak perfect Assassin's Creed to me.
Yeah.
Whereas the most recent Assassin's Creed releases really kind of deviated away from that,
Mm-hmm.
which is cool.
Yeah. What I think I would like, and they may have touched on it in the new trailers. I haven't watched them besides the PlayStation one. I would love it if there was like you have a target, but you don't. I think in the old games they would usually, once you get into the like the compound or whatever, it would like they would be glowing gold or something, and you would have to
Hmm.
like just make your way over to them. It'd be kind of cool to add some like detective aspects of it where you have to like
Yes.
eavesdrop and like get information from people on like where they are or what like part of the city they like to like hang out in or
Yeah,
something.
that
I
would
think
be
that
really
would be really
cool.
cool rather than just like here's a waypoint on a map.
Yeah, there
um
he is.
and then as soon as you enter like the forbidden zone or whatever, it's like, oh, he's up on that floor, you can see him in gold, like
Yep.
kind of make you
That's
work
like,
for it a little more.
yeah, because instead of like you'd use your eagle vision,
Mm-hmm.
and that would show you who your target is and where they are. Maybe before you could still use your eagle vision, but like wouldn't highlight him in gold
Mm-hmm.
until you got all that information.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of like an old Hitman game. I can't remember even which Hitman it was.
Yeah,
But like
that's kind of what
you're
I'm
looking,
thinking.
yeah, you've got your sniper and you're looking across into a building with like a business meeting, and the
Mm-hmm.
woman on the phone is telling you what he looks like. So
Yeah.
yeah, so maybe kind of like that, where she's like, oh, he is wearing this color suit, or
Mm-hmm.
he's not a drinker, or I think the big thing is like, oh, he's bald, and
Yeah.
there's only one guy that fits that description, and you
Mm-hmm.
blow his head off.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be really cool to put in there.
Yeah.
And yeah, that fits so nice, so well, because you could be like, well, we don't know what he looks like, but we know his name, and we could like like you said, eavesdrop
Mm-hmm.
and be like, oh, can you believe so and so is wearing a gold necklace today, or I don't know,
Yeah.
something like that. And then once you get all that information, then you can highlight him in gold, so you can see him again.
Yeah. No, I like that a lot. I'm actually
Hmm.
much more excited for that game now that I know that they're kind of going back to that formula.
Agreed. Dragon's Dogma 2 looks cool.
Mm-hmm.
Did you play Dragon's Dogma 1 at all?
I have not. No.
I did a little bit, and it was cool. I think I liked it so much because you could like you create your character,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have like a companion,
Okay.
and you can create them too.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, my favorite thing in games is creating characters. So
Yeah.
if I can create 2 characters and one follows me around everywhere,
yeah.
hell yeah, give me all that.
Yeah.
But I never really beat it. But
Mhm.
Dragon's Dogma 2, no release date. I don't think.
Yeah. Well,
Probably
that
not.
was
It's
the
probably-
initial announcement, wasn't it?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's the official announcement was just like the creators when they were all wearing hoodies.
Oh,
And
okay.
they unzipped their hoodies and they were wearing Dragon's Dogma 2 shirts. Like, oh, it's in development. Like, okay. Cool.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I guess you could have shown a title screen or something, but
Yeah.
no release date on that. It looks really good.
Mm-hmm. Correct me if I'm wrong. It kind of looked, if I'm thinking of the right one, it looked like almost a Monster Hunter type of deal.
Ish, yeah. I think one of the mechanics of Dragon's Dogma is giant monsters, and you can climb them.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can climb on the top of a giant and
Beat it
stab
up.
the back of his head.
Yeah.
So I think that'd probably be a big component.
Mm-hmm.
And it's from Capcom, who makes Monster Hunter, so
Okay.
there's
yeah.
bound to be some crossover.
There'll be some
there.
overlap a little bit.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, I'll be checking that out.
Yeah.
I still have Dragon's Dogma. It's on my Switch.
Yeah.
I should probably just play it. It'd probably be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
What else was there, Jake?
Um.
We got a Final Fantasy 16 trailer, which at this point, I mean, you're over marketing, I think.
Kind of like stop showing me stuff on
Yeah,
this.
but I mean, they've already sold it to me, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't want to ramble too much on this, but I'm finding the marketing so different for Final Fantasy 16 compared to Final Fantasy 15.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know if you remember, Final Fantasy 15, they released an anime, they released a movie, like a full feature-length movie,
Mm-hmm.
and just a ton of like pre-game stuff.
Yeah.
And that's like a big complaint of people that all that stuff kind of hurt it,
Yeah.
because when Final Fantasy 15 finally came out, if you didn't see all that stuff, it was kind of confusing.
Yeah.
Like you kind of were lost for a few things. So it's interesting to see like there's no pre-release media, no anime, and they released some like lore stuff on their website,
Okay.
but I think that's pretty common for most games.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think the marketing strategy for this game has been trailers. There's been like half a dozen trailers probably, and just Yoshi P getting up on stage and telling everybody what's going on,
Yeah.
which is good. I kind of like it, honestly. But at this point, stop,
Mhm.
please. Like I'm probably not gonna watch much more stuff.
Yeah. Well, I think we were kind of getting to that point with Tears of the Kingdom too. It was like
Big time.
at a certain
And
point.
they only released like 3 trailers.
I know, but like at one point, it was kind of like I don't want to see anymore. Like I want to experience it.
Something that's really cool. I'm assuming have you heard of Studio Ghibli?
Yeah.
So they're releasing a new movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's Hayao Miyazaki's last movie that he's making,
Yeah.
and they said it comes out in Japan very soon. They're not releasing anything on it, just the title of the movie.
Really.
And I think they've released like a poster, like just a poster with nothing on it. It looks like a bird, I think,
Mm-hmm.
but nothing. You just
Yeah.
got to go see it. I think that is so cool. I wish more things would do that. Be like, yep, here's the newest movie from Miyazaki. Here's the new Christopher Nolan movie. Here's the new,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, Zelda game. Like, people would buy it.
Yeah.
If they never said a thing or showed a single trailer about Tears of the Kingdom. Just said, new Zelda game is called Tears of the Kingdom. It'll be out May 12th. That's it. Like, that would be so cool. Imagine having learned nothing
Yeah.
about that game.
It's so it would be very cool. And it definitely, if you're an established franchise like that, like Studio Ghibli movies are huge. Like,
Mhm.
and they've been going on for so long, like people definitely will get excited about that. It's probably not a luxury that some newer releases would
course.
have.
Yeah.
But for something like Zelda, Final Fantasy, Studio Ghibli,
Studio Ghibli. Yeah.
like one of those franchises that's been around for so long, yeah, that's a very cool way to do it, because there's hype just from the name alone, just from
Exactly.
knowing that something exists. So
Yep. And like,
you
I don't
could-
care what's in it. I don't care what's new about it.
Mhm.
Like, I think that's a lot of what people try to do, is show what's new about it, why you should go buy it. But like you said, for established franchises, who cares?
Yeah.
Like, I guarantee you're not going to lose that many sales because of not knowing anything. You might gain sales.
Yeah.
Just by the mystery of it. I don't know.
Because people, they're gonna want to know. Like, the internet is gonna go crazy with like different theories on what it's gonna be. I'm sure
And the
that's
gamers
already
will-
happening with just the one poster for the new Studio Ghibli movie. Or
Yeah.
Ghibli, I don't know if I'm saying it wrong.
I have no idea either. I say both.
I've
It's like
heard
GIF
both
or
too.
GIF.
Yeah.
I say them both too.
Well, that one, it's GIF. If you're
I'm sorry. I don't know. I call it GIF a lot. It's like peanut butter.
all right, peanut butter
what-
boy, whatever.
I do love peanut butter. That might do it for things I was excited for.
Yeah.
What about you? Anything?
I do have a few more things on my list that I want to at least touch on.
Yeah.
Like a couple of the indie titles or newer titles I wasn't aware of
let's
before.
hear 'em. What are they?
So Phantom Blade Zero, I thought that looked
Okay.
pretty cool. It's like,
Where? Sorry, go ahead.
um,
I'm talking to myself.
so it kind of looks like it's another samurai game, which I feel like we've gotten a lot of recently.
Okay, I know what
Um,
you're talking about now. Yep.
But it's like Sekiro, but it looks like it has some like steampunk
Mm-hmm.
elements to it, which I thought was cool. Don't really know much other than that. Just fast
What
paced
was it?
like sword.
What was it called again?
Phantom Blade Zero.
Got it.
But I thought that one looked cool.
Yep, I know which one you're talking about now.
And if you have thoughts on any of these, just jump in.
Yeah, go ahead.
Ghost Runner 2 looked fun. It kind of reminded me of Mirror's Edge, but with motorcycles and magic and sword combat rather than guns.
Okay.
It was a bit more futuristic looking. What else here? Sword of the Sea. This one actually looked pretty cool. It was like using a sword as basically like a snowboard, and the terrain was all like wavy and stuff.
Yeah, this is from the creators of Abzu and the Pathless.
Yeah. Which I
Which-
played a little bit of Abzu.
Did you? Okay,
Yeah.
good. I've never played them, but they're very pretty looking
Yeah.
games. I would probably like them a lot.
They have a very cool art style, and they're very like not super heavy like action. They're more exploration based, but I like that too. Like, it's good to mix
Nice.
in those sometimes. So that one looked really cool.
And if I think Austin Winter is doing the soundtrack for this one. He
Okay.
did the Pathless too.
Mm-hmm.
He did Assassin's Creed's Syndicate.
Okay.
He's a very good composer. I like him a lot.
Mm-hmm.
He's on my Spotify. I listen to his music sometimes. He did Journey too, which is probably his
Oh
most
yeah.
famous his most famous
I
game
mean,
he worked on.
especially a game like that, music is going to be very important. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's all about the aesthetic.
hmm Okay,
Um,
does that wrap up PlayStation or you got one more?
it doesn't. um,
Okay, bring it. Let's go.
so I
I'm
wanted
glad.
to. So I only had one line written about this game, and I'm going to read
Okay.
it verbatim. It says, "Neva or Neva, I can't. I think it's Neva.
You wrote all
Neva,
that?
yeah, Neva out here making me cry just from the trailer."
Okay, let me scrub through this trailer really quick. Okay.
If I can,
Oh, geez. Okay, yeah, I see why you're crying.
the one with the
The
wolf
deer.
hybrid. Um,
Why don't I remember this?
yeah, so it's from the
Oh, that's
developers
cool.
of Grease, which I never played, but I know was
Okay.
very
Is it-
popular.
Yep.
Indie game. Don't know what type of. I mean, it looks like there's some sort of sword combat involved.
Uh-huh.
But very pretty art style, very good music. And obviously it's a very sad story. So that
Yeah,
that
great.
as a certified sad boy, that one piqued my interest.
I'm with you, dude.
Yeah.
I'm a sad boy too.
Yeah.
Do we got a release date for that?
I don't think so. I think that was the reveal. So
Okay.
still working on that one. Scheduled sometime
See.
next year. Doesn't have a confirmed date yet.
Okay. Well, let's keep our eye out for that.
Yeah.
I feel like with a lot of these indie games, I'm like, oh, I really want to check that out, and then I forget all about it.
Yeah.
Which I feel bad. They did, but okay. What
Yeah.
else?
Well, so there was another one that I didn't have much to say on it. It was just something that caught my attention. Towers of Agasba, I think it's called.
Okay.
And the only thing I wrote about that one was world builder with Breath of the Wild paragliding.
Yes. Okay, I remember this one too. This looks really cool.
Yeah, because the world itself, I don't even know how to describe like what the world looked like to me, but it was, like they had the big like flying creatures and stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
it didn't look like there was anything like combat focused really. It looked to me more like you're rebuilding this land or something.
Which is amazing.
Yeah. Just like I would actually love like a heavy exploration and like world building game with, I think the ability to paraglide it's not specific to Breath of the Wild, but I think
Of
it's
course.
that type of traversal definitely seems really cool to me.
Okay, I'm gonna write these down.
Towers of
Agasba.
Agasba.
Excuse me. Towers.
Yeah.
And what was the last one we just watched?
Neva, Neva.
Oh boy. Yeah. Can't spell. Eva. Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet. I'm gonna try not to forget about these. These are really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I've heard some people say like, could Tears of the Kingdom function as a game with zero combat? And my answer is hell yes.
Yeah.
Like if it had no combat at all, it would still be a perfect game.
Mm-hmm.
Like the combat's probably my least favorite part.
Yeah.
Like
Honestly,
I like the puzzles about it. So maybe this can kind of like there's so many different environments in this
mm-hmm.
Towers of Agasba.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's just walking around, making friends and helping rebuild this world or something.
Yeah. I would love that. I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah, it says you are tasked with helping your tribe rebuild their lost civilization. However, the desolate island can barely sustain the people of your tribe. The gods of Agasba are wary of the return of humans to the island as well. They fear the destruction of the land that came with the growth of human civilization in the past. Yikes. How relatable. But okay, that looks like a lot of fun.
Uh-huh.
So that's 2024 also.
Mm-hmm.
And that's from Dreamlit
Yeah.
Games. I've never. What else have they worked on? Do you know?
I have no idea.
Let's give them a quick Google. I don't know. This might be their.
I think this had small but ambitious indie studio started in 2020.
Started in 2020, then this is definitely their first game.
Yeah. If they have
Whoops. What did
this
I do?
much, well, I mean, they clearly have it, built for enough to show. So
Yeah.
this could very well be their first game. I don't see anything else on here.
No, that's probably their first.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And it
Awesome.
looked great.
Okay.
It looked beautiful.
It did, yeah. Okay, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Towers of Agasba.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else, Jake? Anything else I'm forgetting?
Two more things.
Oh my god. All right.
Yeah,
Go.
I rewatched a lot over the last couple of
Mhm.
days so I could prepare. So Immortals of Avium, I am
Okay,
skeptical
yeah.
on this one.
Yeah.
But I wanted to talk about it. It was
All right.
as Jeff Keighley described, because it was also at Summer Games Fest. It looks like Doom with magic.
Yeah.
It's already got a release date, July 20th. So we don't have to wait.
Yeah,
That's very close.
that's very soon, yeah.
On my notes, I put EA original sad face because I mean,
I
EA
heard-
like over the last few years has really just, in my opinion, everything that they've done has been pretty big letdown for the most part.
Yeah. I did hear, to make you feel a little bit better, EA took over very late in development.
Okay.
I think this was kind of an indie thing
Mm-hmm.
for a long time, and then EA kind of came in and just helped them out at the end.
Yeah.
So this shouldn't be super. This won't be very anthemy.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we should just say it that way.
Fingers crossed, man.
Fingers crossed.
Um,
But yeah, it does look good. Like I said, I'm skeptical of it too. I won't play it, but I'll definitely be looking out for it.
yeah. I normally this isn't one that I would really care about, but I did, having sort of gotten into Doom in the last year, that does kind of pique my interest a little bit to see what the combat is like. One thing that I will say though is that the dialogue in the trailers has just had me a little bit like bleh. Like, I don't know.
A little cringy.
It's just definitely like for lack of a better way to describe it, it's like Marvel quips.
Yeah.
Like the protagonist is like a 20-something dude that talks like this and like,
Oh yeah. Typical.
they haven't met me yet or something like that type
Yeah,
of stuff.
okay.
Like I'm so over it, man. Like, so I'm,
Marvel can get away with it. Like,
Yeah.
nobody else can.
I mean, they
So-
have Marvel characters, well, especially like the long-standing ones like Iron Man, Captain America, and all them. Like, they have such a rich history from the comics and stuff, and like those actors have so much charisma that they can make it work. And the writing is usually pretty good on those too.
Yeah,
I don't
agree.
really care to see EA's attempt at that.
Yeah, I agree.
But still, I'm gonna be cautiously optimistic about that one.
Okay,
Um,
I think that's safe.
And then the last thing, I promise I'm almost done with PlayStation.
You're fine, man.
Is
This is a video game podcast. Yeah.
yes, and that's what we're here to talk about. They revealed their new handheld device.
Oh yes. How did we forget about this?
Yeah, tentatively called Project Q.
Okay.
And for those of you who haven't seen it, it's basically a DualSense controller cut in half
Mhm.
with a tablet, like kind of glued in the middle. And
It's pretty ugly.
it's ugly, and probably the worst part of it, in my opinion, is it's only for remote play.
Yeah.
So you have to have a PS5 to play it.
Yeah.
It can't store any games locally. It sounded like it only goes on Wi-Fi.
Yep.
So it doesn't really have much like travel value to it.
Nope. Can't take it on the go. So I mean, if you want to play a game, but your sweetie wants to watch Netflix or whatever, you could do it that way.
Mm-hmm.
You could probably do it that as long as you have robust Wi-Fi. I think
Yeah.
is the verbiage that they use. And that's just, I don't know. That's just it's a big missed opportunity for PlayStation.
Yeah.
If they could have just allow me to put like play Horizon Forbidden West on
Yeah.
the go locally, not stream it.
If they could figure out, because it'll be a good quality system, I'm sure, in terms of, I think it'll be able to hit 1080p, probably 60 FPS, like, or as good as remote play can be on PS5 games. But if all they had to do was just give it, like, I mean, I say all they had to do is probably a lot more that went into this, but like, if they gave it the ability to store your PS5 games that you already own locally and play them on the go, like, God, the amount of money that they would make off that.
Exactly, and you could charge more for it that way.
Yeah.
Like, how much do you think this thing is going to cost?
Genuinely, I think it's going to be at least $200.
I was going to guess 250.
Yeah. Which,
and if they would make it like a full-on handheld console, they could charge $400 for it.
Yeah. And I'd buy it.
Yeah. Right? I would want to buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that would be the way to do it. Maybe it's just too hard to have something so small run such demanding software.
Yeah. I mean,
Maybe that's,
I don't know. So I've watched like some videos where people have talked about this that are in the tech community, and a lot of them say that it's not worth it because they can't compete with like the Switch or the Steam Deck in that hardware space. But like, man, there are so many loyal PlayStation fans who
Yes.
I know would drop $300-$400 on this.
yeah.
And who will
see,
probably still drop $200 to $300 on just this Project Q when it comes out.
Yeah. Because I disagree with that. I think they just haven't tried competing with it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be easy to
Yeah.
do. They have so many first party studios. Even they could even like, you have your deck approved games
Yeah.
for your Steam Deck.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could have developers make games just for this, like
Yeah.
Q approved games.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's so many cool things you could do. And like if the Switch can run Breath of the Wild, I mean, Sony can figure out how to get games to run on this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I disagree, but they can't compete. I just don't think they've tried. And I think they could.
Yeah.
I don't think it would be that hard.
Another thing that I heard brought up is that they would feel the need to make exclusive games for this device, which they did for the Vita and the PSP, and none of them really sold very well. But I think the pull of those games was the fact that you could play PS4 on your Vita.
Yeah.
Even though I think that was also remote play, but like
It was.
at the time that was still, you could have local games on it.
Yep.
So,
And I think you can make it a digital only console. So you're not going to be a physical cartridge. like there was for Vita and stuff.
Mhm.
And I think the PlayStation player base is probably 10 times as big as it was
Oh yeah.
during the Vita era.
Yeah.
So I don't PlayStation shouldn't look at their Vita failure or the unsuccess of the Vita and say, "Oh, we can't compete in the handheld market." Like I think they could try really hard and, like you said, make exclusive games for Project Q, or don't. I mean, like,
Yeah.
if it can run on this little handheld device, it can run on your PS5.
Yeah.
Like you could play it on both or either and cross save and stuff like that. I don't know. I think it would be really cool if they could figure that out.
Just make the Steam Deck for PlayStation.
It would compete.
Honestly, like there are already PlayStation that like were PlayStation exclusive games on the Steam Deck that run great. I've
Yeah.
played God of War on Steam Deck. It runs
Have you?
perfect. Yeah.
Right.
It's got, on Steam Deck they have like the check mark system. It's like
Mm-hmm.
it falls under the great on deck category. God of War is
Yeah.
in there. I think Spider-Man might even be in there. Like
Horizon's probably on there.
yeah, they already have PlayStation exclusive games that run great on handheld. So why couldn't they just make their own system and figure out a way to port those games onto it and just run them at like 720p or something and put an OLED screen on it? That has drastically changed the quality of Nintendo of Switch games.
Sure.
Like,
I mean, yeah. I mean, don't tell me they don't have enough money
oh no.
because they got money.
Yeah,
You can do it.
It's not just PlayStation. Sony has money.
Sony's doing just fine with
Yeah.
money. Don't tell me it's just it's not financially possible, because it is.
Yeah.
Okay, are we finally done with PlayStation?
I think we are done. I got my rant out on that, so we're good to move on to
Perfect.
another very large showcase.
Summer Games Fest, Key 3,
Key 3. Yep.
hosted by the one, the only Jeff Keighley, who I really like. Jeff Keighley.
I do too.
I think he seems like just a really genuinely nice person and a huge video game nerd.
Mm-hmm.
So it opened with the new Prince of Persia game.
Yeah.
I remember briefly playing Prince of Persia a long time ago.
I never played any of the old ones. I've been told several times that I need to. I just never did. But I do like the look of this one. I think they're going to rather than like a more open, I don't know how to I know it's not open world, but like rather than like the 3D gameplay, it was all like side scrolling from the look of it.
Yeah, definitely. Which I hate side scrollers. So
I kind of,
as I've voiced my opinion on side scrollers on this podcast before.
yeah, I don't know. I thought it looked interesting.
It does,
and I like to see when a long running series goes in a new direction. I think that looks cool.
And I didn't know that was Ubisoft that made.
I didn't either. I wrote down in my notes, like, was Prince of Persia always Ubisoft?
That's exactly what I was going to ask. I mean, it must have been.
Yeah, unless they bought the rights to it and completely changed up the game.
Yeah, I really like the art style. All the characters look really cool. There's something about side scrollers, just I don't know. It just doesn't do it for me.
Mm-hmm.
The way you can, just like the traversal. Not a fan, but yeah, all the characters look really neat. Animations look cool. It's just it's a cool direction for this franchise.
Yeah. Okay. I can't find whether or not it was always Ubisoft or
Okay.
not.
I'm gonna assume it was.
Okay.
I'm not a Mortal Kombat fan. Are you?
I'm not really like a fighting game fan.
Yeah, me neither.
But Mortal Kombat's one of those that I'm always just like intrigued by. I like to see, the new creative ways that you can mutilate people.
Oh
like
dear God.
is
So I'm not a Mortal Kombat fan, like I just said.
Mhm.
But this game visually is stunning. It
Yeah.
looks so good, but it's gross, man.
Yeah.
So gross, and the sounds, like, just unnecessary. It's like, ugh.
Yeah. It's the only thing I wrote down about this one was just as violent as expected.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. But it's pretty cool. It's Mortal Kombat 1. The last Mortal Kombat was Mortal Kombat 11, I
Mhm.
believe. And there's story modes in these, and at the end of Mortal Kombat 11, there was some sort of universe erasing event
Yeah.
that I think is really cool. So this new game is a brand new universe, similar characters, but I think Ed Boon had said like certain rivalries are now friendships
Mhm.
and stuff like. I think that's a really cool direction for just a fighting game to go.
Yeah. I like
So
that.
that's fun. What else? A brand new Sonic game.
Yeah.
I was kind of intrigued by that. I used to play Sonic a lot when I was younger.
Mhm.
Sonic Superstars is the name of that.
Yeah, never really got into Sonic. I have played a few of them.
Sure.
But it wasn't like something I did regularly, but it's cool to see them go back to, because they just did Sonic Frontiers that was like
Mm-hmm.
open world. It's cool to see them go back to kind of the original style but in 3D now.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Mm-hmm.
I played it's called Sonic Adventure 2 Battle.
I think
I had that on my GameCube,
mm-hmm.
and I played the crap out of that game. That's the one with the Chow Gardens, and
Okay.
you could raise your own cute little chows, and some would grow up to be evil, and they'd go in the dark hell area, and some would grow up to be
That's so
really
crazy.
really good, and they'd go up in the heavenly area.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was weird.
I mean, that's good though, set it apart from other games in the series, especially a long running game like that. Like throw something weird in there.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah.
Alan Wake 2 got a big gameplay reveal.
Yeah.
I said we weren't gonna go game by game, but here I am going game by game. Anything to say on Alan Wake 2? Do you care about that?
It kind of makes me want to play the first one. Never played it. I've heard mixed things about it. But this one does look cool. It looks like it has an interesting like dual narrative going on.
Yeah. Yep. Two protagonists.
Mm-hmm.
Alan Wake and
Saga Anderson.
Yep, Saga
is
Anderson. There it is.
Cool name. I will. Saga is a very cool first name. But yeah, it does look a little bit Resident Evil-ish in the combat.
Very Resident Evil. Yep.
So I probably won't pick it up right away. But I'll see how people like it, but it does look interesting.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna skip to a game. I think it was like probably the biggest. I don't know, the thing that I was surprised by the most,
Mhm.
I guess, a game called Sandland. Like
Sandland.
that game, Sandland. Yep, it's from Akira Toriyama, who is the creator of Dragon Ball.
Okay, yeah.
So, it's very his art style, like seeing the seeing the art style, the characters, they look like Dragon Ball characters,
Mm-hmm.
but just I don't know, maybe like with a little mix of Borderlands art style with like the
Yeah.
thick outlines and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's his new manga. I guess it's a manga, not just a game.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know what is appealing about it. I don't really know what you're going to do in this game. It kind of this looks like I don't know. You're just battling. It just looks cool. I'm pretty excited for that one.
Those are some of the
Uh,
most fun reveals. Is like you know nothing about it, but you're just like it just looks different. It looks interesting.
Yeah, it does. And I don't know. Yeah, there's no release date for that. But just yeah, like you said, just seeing something you weren't expecting, you're liking the art style, you're liking the game, the little snippets of gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
That one will probably be fun to look at
Yeah.
or to to watch as they release more stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have a little list you wanted to walk through?
I did. So something that I'm sure you probably wanted to talk about as well was they had a Witcher 3 or Witcher season 3 trailer. And
Yeah, I saw it.
I haven't seen season 2. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
But having played a little bit of Witcher 3, there was a part in the trailer that I wanted to ask you on. It looks
Okay.
like the Wild Hunt makes
Oh,
an
yeah.
appearance.
Yeah, the Wild Hunt is in the books. They're in the books a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And have they been in the show at all yet, or is that
They were at the very end
okay?
of season 2. I forget what they were doing. I think they showed up in like series dreams or I can't remember.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they made a quick appearance at the end of season 2, and they're gonna be a menace from here on out.
Okay.
But I'm cautiously optimistic for season 3. It's Henry Cavill's last season,
yeah.
and I think from this point on, the only thing holding that show together is going to be Freya Allen,
Mm-hmm.
who plays Siri.
Yeah.
She's if there's anything good that comes out of this show, it's going to be her future.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's a phenomenal actress. She's a perfect Siri,
Yeah.
and Geralt's a perfect, or Henry Cavill is a perfect Geralt. And besides that, it's not the best, but
Yeah.
I will still watch it.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna watch it.
I was surprised to see Henry, and in the little because they had Henry and was it Freya? I forget her name. And then the woman who plays Yennefer, all
Yeah.
introduce it or whatever, or they
Mhm.
had like a little panel with them. I was surprised to see Henry there because I thought maybe they had like a, the reason he had left the show was because of creative differences or whatever. And
Yeah, I mean, they probably told him like, dude, you still need to do some marketing for us. You're
like-
like the main character.
it's like, I know you don't want to, you don't really like us, but we got a press tour, so
Yeah, please, you're helping us.
we still need you for like a year. So
Yeah,
thanks.
look forward to Liam Hemsworth. Everybody, Liam Hemsworth.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I'll get
Eesh.
caught up eventually, and because I do want to be able to watch when that comes out and see the difference. Because I did like
It's
I
on-
like Henry Cavill as Geralt from what I saw.
Mm-hmm. It's only the seasons are only 8 episodes,
Mhm.
so it's easy to binge that in a weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I can probably do that. I download shows all the time to watch like on planes when I'm on work trips. So I can probably just
Mm-hmm.
make that my next binging show.
Yeah, no, not a problem. One I wanted to touch on was called Pal World.
Yeah.
Which Jeff Keighley described as Pokemon with guns,
Mhm.
which is interesting, but it just looks again, just visually, it looks cool.
Yeah.
And I was seeing some other stuff on it. Apparently, you can like force your pals into labor
Hmm.
and make them build things for you and make them fight for you. You know, it just seems, I don't know, again, just something unique, out of the ordinary. Just like a big spin on a monster collecting type game.
Yeah. One thing so I do agree with you. Like it's definitely a new concept. It looks interesting, and it it kind of visually it looks like what I wish 3D Pokemon looked like.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, visually, yeah,
but
absolutely.
I gotta say, they did not get very creative with the actual PAL designs. Because
Okay.
so many of these look like Pokemon that were just like slightly reskinned. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
like the the one that I immediately recognize, it looks like a lightning Pokemon or PAL or whatever, holding like a minigun, and it looks like Electabuzz.
Yep, looks exactly like Electabuzz. In the
Yeah,
beginning, she's riding something, looks exactly like a Gyarados.
like a
Uh, yeah, yep. I guess
there's
I didn't. Yeah, the Electabuzz,
yeah,
absolutely. That's like a pretty big ripoff.
that's a
But
Gyarados that she's riding. Um,
yep,
there's definitely
well,
a bunch
there's
of
even a
Eevee clones or the
yep,
evolution clones.
yep. There's like even like a Wooloo,
Yeah.
the sheep
Uh-huh.
from Sword and Shield.
Yeah.
I didn't even make those connections.
Yeah, that's all I could think when watching this. I'm like, it looks great, like, but I'm looking at a Flareon right now. It's just blue. Like that's what that is.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. All right, Pal World. I don't know. It
Even
still looks fun.
even this some I'm going through the recap on an IGN article, and it literally says Pal World is like Pokemon dot 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 but with guns.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly what Jeff Keighley said before the uh trailer,
Yeah.
before he ran the trailer.
Hmm. But with that said, it does look cool. I'm interested to see what else comes out with that. Just come on, guys. Nintendo's gonna come for you on some of those, I'm
Ooh,
sure.
yeah. Yeah. I bet. They probably already tried.
Oh, I'm sure. I wouldn't be
All right,
surprised
what's
if in a month or two there's a statement from the developer. It's like, due
yeah.
to an lawsuit with with Nintendo, we are now shutting down all development.
That, or they're gonna have
They have to
to delay
completely
it.
rework all of the
Yeah.
character
They'll
designs,
delay it so they can redo all the designs. Yep.
which there's 1,000 Pokemon now, so good luck like finding
Right.
original designs.
Exactly. All right, what's next on your list?
Next on my list, Lies of P. So
Ooh, Liza P looked good.
we got a release date, and there is a demo on PlayStation now, which I have played.
Okay, fill us in.
I haven't beaten the section yet because
Okay.
it's hard. It's definitely a Souls-like.
Okay.
But I would say it plays. If you're familiar with the FromSoft games, it plays most like Bloodborne, I
Okay.
think. So it seems to be strictly melee combat. Um, you can choose, like, your character is the same no matter what, but you can choose like the path that they take. So you can either be like a straight up strength build. Um, you can do more like um lower health but like faster, more more agile, or you can do like a mix of both. Um,
Okay.
so I did the mixed one, and I mean it's very much just like a Bloodborne in Pinocchio world. Like even the aesthetic of it. You're in this city called Krat, and it's very much like abandoned, and there's from what I've seen so far, your enemies are like puppets, but they all have red eyes, so they're like somehow possessed.
Evil puppets.
Evil puppets, basically, yeah. It's like Five Nights at Freddy's, but not.
Okay.
But yeah, there's I think there's a little bit of stealth aspect to it, but it's mostly just like a hack and slash. You've got your essentially your Estus flask was like your health in the Dark Souls games, which you start with a certain amount, and every life you have a certain you can use. If you die, you drop all of your basically your souls. I don't know what they're called in this one, but you collect them with every person you kill or whatever.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely looked interesting. I would like to try and finish the demo so I can see if there's any more to it. There's one, like, I don't know if it's considered a boss, but there's one like bigger enemy at the end of the level, or I assume at the end of the level, that's giving me trouble. But
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you enjoyed other Soulsborne games, you're gonna feel right at home here.
yeah, I think if you like Bloodborne, if you like Elden Ring, maybe even Sekiro, I bet you'll be into that.
Okay.
And could be other, not just FromSoft games. Like it's a action hack and slash RPG. I think most people can, or there's a lot of people who could get into that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next, I wanted to talk about Banishers, Ghosts of New Eden.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot. I don't know. The trailer was really cool. It's hard to say exactly what was happening. Like you had a character that is probably, the main protagonist, but you had like a ghostly figure following you.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like there's some like decisions to be made. Like you could choose like to sacrifice somebody or keep them alive.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like there wasn't a lot to go on in that trailer, but just visually, it looked really good. You can just impress me with visuals alone. Apparently, that's all I keep saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, just aesthetically, it looked pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Probably a very story driven game. It's very cinematic, very I don't really know what word I want to use, but it looks really cool.
Yeah.
It's from Focus Entertainment is the publisher, and they put out a lot of pretty cool games like Plague Tale. They do the Plague Tale.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also the developer is Don't Nod. What else have they made?
I don't know. I'm not familiar with them.
They have made Life is Strange.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, Vampire. And several other games that I haven't heard of.
Remember Me. I never played it, but I do know about that one.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, Life is Strange. I don't know anything about Vampire, but Life is Strange is a very cinematic, very story-driven, choice-driven type of game, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So that's exciting. Yeah, give me originality. Give me new. I like new IP. I like new stories and stuff like that. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah. I think the like the just going off of what we've seen in the trailers, I think the main character, the guy, is a protagonist, and then the ghostly woman that's sort of following him, or it looks like they can sort of merge at some points. I
Okay.
have a feeling that that's his wife or his significant other that died, and
Okay.
they're trying to find a way to like bring her back, essentially. And they're either like free, like I think that's probably going to be part of the overall objective of the game, is going to be like freeing souls, or like the souls that you defeat or whatever, you'll have the option to either free them or sacrifice them in an attempt to bring her back or something. Like,
Ooh, okay, this sounds pretty cool.
yeah. And that's,
This sounds really cool.
I haven't read up on it at all. That's literally just kind of my
Okay.
theory behind what I've seen in the trailers.
Okay, if you can find a way to look up the box art, there's like the collector's edition that I'm looking at.
Okay.
The box art is really cool.
All right.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. They got a big collector's edition for this with a poster, steelbook, a statue.
Oh, don't tell me that.
Yeah, I know you like your statues. The box art, oh, that's like the coolest box art I think I've ever seen. With the hands, have you found it yet?
Oh wait, here it is. That's really cool. I like that.
Give me yes, box art. I nerd out about weird things.
No, I love that. I think that's awesome.
Okay, what's next on your list?
So some of this we've already covered. Actually, a lot of this we've already covered in different. I had Alan Wake 2. I had Spider-Man 2. I feel like we've already gone over those.
Mhm.
The other one that I saw that piqued my interest was Under the Waves.
Okay.
So, from what I remember, it looked like sort of an underwater exploration type game.
Quantic
Ma-
Dream? Okay.
yeah, but like a lot more story focused.
Yeah.
And maybe some bits of horror mixed in there. Or at least like some thriller aspects to it. But yeah, this one definitely caught my interest because
Yeah, Quantic Dream. They made Beyond Two Souls, Heavy Rain, Detroit Become Human.
yeah,
Wow. Okay, I missed this. Okay, pretty cool.
yeah.
That'll be neat.
Still don't. I think it's still pretty early. Oh wait, no, we got a release date. It's in August.
Oh, nice.
August 29th. Okay, yeah. I'm more excited about that now. For some reason I thought that was an initial
Be kind of
reveal.
far away. Oh, it probably was, but
Mhm.
just a close release date.
Yeah.
Cool.
So the only other thing on my list for Summer Game Fest before we get into the end, which I'm sure you want to talk about,
the one more thing.
was they showed a trailer for the Twisted Metal show, and
That was weird.
again, I hate that I have to bring up this comparison. It looked like it was Twisted Metal, but with Marvel clips.
Why are they making a show and not a game?
I don't know, and I don't know why they're making it live action. I don't know why Peacock is making it, of all people.
I have so many questions.
Like, oh man, I don't know why that's the franchise that they chose. If they wanted to make a video game adaptation,
Yeah, I mean, Twisted Metal is popular for sure.
yeah,
It's very old. It's and nostalgic, but why a show and not a game? Why was the trailer so weird?
yeah. It wasn't even a trailer. It was just like a section of, like, we didn't even get to see other characters or like what the story was. It was just a fight scene between friggin' Anthony Mackie
and some big guy
and Sweet Tooth.
Samoa Joe, I think the guy's name is, which is voiced by Will Arnett.
Which is so weird. Like,
Will Arnett filmed himself in his bathroom or something.
Yeah, he literally did like a Zoom call for that reveal.
So
I don't know.
it's weird.
It had all the markings of a company that doesn't know video games and doesn't care enough to like really make it good.
Yep, I agree. All right, my next thing, Jake. I can remember in like 2000, 2006, 2007. Me and you just hanging out in your basement playing something, and you would look over at me and you'd say, "You know what? The video game world is missing is more Nicolas Cage." And in 2023, the gods have finally answered you and brought Nicolas Cage to Dead by Daylight.
I
How strange.
I fully remember this very real conversation.
Yeah, he screamed about it for over a decade. Where is Nicolas Cage in the video game world?
It's bad. My family had to tell me to stop talking about Nicolas Cage.
God, not again, Jacob. But yeah, he's coming to Dead by Daylight. He's a survivor. I don't know. I recently heard that Nicolas Cage repeatedly ran out of money throughout his career. So that's why he's been doing the weirdest movies.
Yeah.
Maybe he's out of money again.
I don't know.
And these people are like, hey, we'll give you some ching if you come, I don't know, do some mocap for us and some voiceover.
Oh my God.
It's pretty funny.
I would probably be more excited about it if it wasn't Dead by Daylight. I tried to get into that game. I really did.
Did you?
Yeah, it's way too hard to be the survivor. I think it was.
Is it?
Yeah, you want to be the killer every time.
Haven't played a second of it. I know it's extremely popular. It's like
Oh yeah, it's huge.
always the top game on Twitch,
Mhm.
or one of the top games on Twitch being played.
Yeah.
Which is just cool. I mean, yeah. I hope the Dead by Daylight fans are pumped up for Nick Cage. You know, I think of that. Can you remember in Family Guy when I can't remember why, but Joe is giving Meg a ride to school,
Yeah.
and it's just silent, and he's like, you know, I hear you kids are a big fan of that Nick Cage. And Meg's like, no, like that would be the perfect meme for this right now. Like,
Oh, that's got to be on Twitter or something.
Somebody could do it.
Yeah.
And it's, no, like we were we were fine without Nick Cage, except for Gone in 60 Seconds. That was a good movie.
I like National Treasure. I'll put that out there.
Oh, okay, yeah, all right. I'm all right with that too.
That's just it's so random and hilarious that he was there and he came out and talked about it like it was another film, like it was a super deep character that he had to get into the mind of.
Yeah, he was into it. I'll give him that.
Yeah, and I'm glad. Like I'm happy he wasn't just like this random actor that has no interest in video games. So it's like, oh yeah, so I like Chris Pratt before Super Mario. He was like stomping, what were they called? Koopas. Like,
yeah. So I remember playing. No, you don't. You didn't play a single second of that, did you?
I remember. I have to go on a quick tangent here. I watched
tangent away.
I watched a video recently of Chris Pratt, Charlie Day. I think Keegan Michael Key was also there. And they were all playing Mario Kart and talking about like the impact it had on their childhood. And you can just tell that like none of you have ever played Mario Kart before.
Maybe Charlie Day.
I bet, yeah, Charlie Day probably would. But they were talking about like they were being interviewed by, I think Jacksepticeye. He's like a big.
You say that. I was gonna say you say that name like I should know who it is.
He's a big Let's Player. Probably he's one of the biggest, like 26 million subscribers or something.
Okay. It's my competition. Huh? Sorry.
But I'm pretty sure it was by him. But anyways, he asked them like who is their main in Mario Kart, and they were all like, I think I just went with like Mario. And I was like, real players don't play as Mario.
That's right.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I just
he does play a lot, doesn't he? Sorry, I'm checking out Jacksepticeye, which is a very strange name.
yeah. There's a story behind it. I don't
I'm sure
I don't
there is,
remember
yeah.
what it is because his name's not actually Jack. It's Sean. So.
All right then, whatever, Sean.
Oh no, he's gonna come for us now.
No, we respect you. Keep grinding. Okay, so like I said, I wasn't super excited about a lot of things. Oh, I my favorite part was they showed what's it called? Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, which is a mobile game, which is the entire chronology of Final Fantasy VII. Which, if you don't know enough about Final Fantasy VII, is there's the main game, obviously. There's a prequel game, a sequel game, a sequel movie, and some other stuff. This game covers all of those. It's all in one place. The whole story is in one place. I think that's what this is. Compilation of every story told in the Final Fantasy VII universe. Yep. So they showed that, which cool. I'll check it out.
Mm-hmm.
I love Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
I'd like it more if it was on Switch or PlayStation, which it might be. I don't
know. I wouldn't be surprised if they brought it to Switch.
Yeah. But right after that trailer, Jeff Keighley looks in the camera and was like, "Wow, I can't wait for more Final Fantasies or whatever, something like that." And he's like, "Speaking of Final Fantasy," and you hear the crowd. You can hear him go, "Oh, what?" And he's like, "Oh, no,
nope,
no.
not that."
DoorDash is giving away a free burrito when you use this code or something like that, and the crowd is just cracking up. Like Keely's like, we got everybody on that one. Like, that was my favorite part.
That's why I love Jeff Keighley, man. He can he can make moments like that. They're just so wholesome.
Speaking of Final Fantasy, like
DoorDash. Oh.
When you use DoorDash code, whatever, that was hilarious. But he made up for it by the one more thing being Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And I was wrong about Spider-Man getting delayed. I remember I told you there's no way Spider-Man's coming out this year, but it is.
Mm-hmm.
But I was right about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. That's been delayed to early 2024.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't be surprised if it got delayed even again.
Yeah.
But I mean, everybody knows how big of a Final Fantasy fan I am, and Final Fantasy VII is my favorite game of all time. It looks great. It's 2 discs. Did you catch that?
Yep.
2 discs.
Mm-hmm.
I am kicking myself so hard for getting the digital edition
oh no
of the PlayStation 5, but that's fine. It's whatever. I
mean, there's gonna be a digital version. There has to be, right?
No, you're not understanding. I want the 2 discs.
Oh, I know.
I want the box with the flappy thing that has the 2 discs. I was thinking about this. Only Final Fantasy VII fans would be excited for 2 discs.
Yeah.
Like, you could put 2 discs on any other game, nobody would probably even notice it.
Mm-hmm.
But Final Fantasy VII is so nostalgic for us because that was a thick case. I have it. I should have it in here. A thick case that had 3 discs in it,
Yeah.
And that was just so cool. That was the coolest thing about it. Not really, but yeah, having 2 discs in this, I don't know why. And you could hear the crowd once that title card came up and it had on 2 discs in it. You could hear the crowd go, 2 discs.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so cool. I don't know why. But only Final Fantasy VII fans would be excited about that.
Oh no, I get that, honestly,
but
there is a nostalgia factor to this one being a remake of many people's favorite game, or being the next installment of the remake. So I do understand that. It kind of even if it isn't really like needed, like you just have it all in a giant download file, there's something like really cool and nostalgic about it being 2 discs.
Yeah, like please have a screen that says please insert disc 2. Like, oh, that's so cool because that's what the original did, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You would reach a point in the story that it would say eject and please insert disc 2. So
That's
cool.
Yeah, I love that.
But gameplay wise, I think we're going like semi-open world here.
Yeah.
So at this point in the original Final Fantasy VII, you went full open world.
Mm-hmm.
You were able to walk from town to town, do some exploring,
Mm-hmm.
and this is where the game, like story wise, really opens up, and you really start digging into like Cloud's past and Sephiroth's past,
Mm-hmm.
and just the I don't know, the depth of those two guys' stories.
Mm-hmm.
So this is gonna be a big game. This is gonna be really, really cool. We're probably still, I don't know, 9 months away, but it's gonna be great.
Well, I mean, you've got Final Fantasy 16 this, soon. And then
12 days.
12 days. And then, probably not too long before this. Like Final Fantasy fans are
We're eating good, man.
you're going to be eating good for a while.
We are eating good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get to see the Chocobo farm, which is gonna
Mhm.
be cool. The Chocobos were fun in Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
Just because you did you did breeding. Like you'd
Mhm.
go out and you'd catch, catching them was a process, and you'd catch them and then you could bring them back to your stable and you'd have to find different colors and breed them and
Mm-hmm.
work your way to this. And then different colored chocobos could cross different types of terrain. And, you would have to work to get the strongest summon materia in the game.
Mm-hmm.
You had to get the golden chocobo. So
Really?
you'd have to figure out, which combinations of chocobos to breed to get that golden chocobo. And the golden chocobo can cross any terrain.
Yeah.
And you could walk out, or you could ride the chocobo out to an island, and that's where you'd find the Knights of the Round materia,
Mm-hmm.
which if you're going to try to beat Sephiroth without it, you're going to have a hard time.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Do you know what I'm talking about? Knights of the Round? If being that you're not a Final Fantasy
These are
fan?
all references that I've heard.
Okay.
I don't really know much about them.
But that's a cool materia. You would summon it, and like, I don't know how many knights are at the round,
Mhm.
but if you leveled it up all the way, you'd get like these cool looking, I don't know, knights, I guess,
Mhm.
that would just show up on screen, and there'd be like, I don't know, 10 of them maybe, and they'd all do 999 damage,
Yeah.
and just that's so cool.
Yeah.
I want to play Final Fantasy 7 now.
Oh, I
Um,
bet. So
But yeah,
this is not going to be the last of the remake
nope,
series, is
it's a planned
it?
trilogy. Yep,
Okay.
planned trilogy.
Okay. Yeah, I thought they had announced more than just this one at whenever they talked about this last. I don't remember. But
Yeah, it was kind of a random thing that they just said, oh, it's called Rebirth. It was just like the title reveal.
Yeah.
Rebirth, and then that'd be the last one. Which
Mhm.
I am going to go on record now saying it's going to be called Reunion.
okay.
Reunion. I'm guessing that's what the final game's going to be called.
Mhm.
Because Reunion is a big story aspect
Mhm.
of Final Fantasy VII, and we got remake, rebirth. Now maybe we'll do reunion.
Yeah, I could see that.
But okay, that might do it for Summer Game Fest. We are over 2 hours,
Yeah, this will
so
be
I think maybe we should save the rest for another time.
Mhm.
There is Xbox Showcase tomorrow on Sunday. We're filming this Saturday night.
Mhm.
Xbox Showcase along with Starfield, which
Yeah.
I think I'm a little bit higher on than you.
At
The
this point,
Starfield
yeah,
Direct?
I think so.
Yeah. But we didn't even get to go over the Wholesome Direct. We didn't get to go over Day of the Devs.
Mm-hmm.
So there's tons more to go over. But there is one thing I wanted to go over. And I didn't give you a heads up about this. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But give me 1 second here.
Oh,
I
boy.
read the entire Game of Thrones series.
Oh boy.
I read them all. It took me like 5 months. It's like 3,500 pages.
Yeah. Not a quick read.
Not a quick read. It was a fun read.
Mm-hmm.
I loved these books.
Yeah.
You know, I'd never watched the show, so I wanted to read the books.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to be one of those people.
Yeah.
Jesus, I'm out of breath. I wanted to be one of those people that could say, you know, I read the books first. And I'm pretty upset that I did,
Yeah.
because I wanted to read the books and then I wanted to watch the show.
Mm-hmm.
I read the books and I loved the books. And I watched the show and boy, I don't like the show.
Okay.
I'm sure it's been a while since you watched it.
Actually, no.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The first few months of this year, I was almost entirely working from home.
Mhm.
So I would have my main monitor doing work stuff, and then my side monitor, I ran through all of Game of Thrones again.
Okay, perfect. So this could maybe be a little bit better of a discussion.
Okay.
So I stopped watching the show after like the first few episodes of season 5.
Okay.
Now, like the biggest problem I had, like season 1, really good.
Mm-hmm.
Season 2 is where they just kind of started losing me. So, Rob's wife was a very different story
Mm-hmm.
in the books. I can
Okay.
see why they did it. I can see why they did it in the show because of her death.
Mm-hmm.
The thing I didn't like about it was like in the show, she's a medic. They fall in love. The big story,
Mm-hmm.
big arc, and then she dies at the Red Wedding, right?
Yeah.
Well, in the books, you're getting all this from like Caitlyn's perspective, or
Yeah.
Catelyn.
Mm-hmm.
So Rob's off fighting,
Mm-hmm.
and Catelyn's left behind.
Yeah.
You don't even see them like find each other. He comes back and he's already married.
Yeah.
And Catelyn's like, bro, that was dumb.
Shouldn't have
You're
done
already
that.
you're already engaged to what's her nuts.
Yeah.
The phrase. And Catelyn was super smart and said when they were going to go to the phrase and apologize, Catelyn was smart and was like, your wife isn't coming because they're going to be pissed and they're probably going to kill her.
Don't parade her
Or-
in front of them.
Yeah, it's huge disrespect. She's not coming. Nope.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't like that she didn't do that in the show
Mm-hmm.
because I think book Catelyn is way smarter than show Catelyn.
Yeah.
But I understand why they did it. And in the books, his wife couldn't get pregnant. His
Okay.
wife was just like some nobleman's daughter that
Mhm.
helped Rob after he got shot with an arrow or something like that.
Yeah.
So she wasn't super important.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I didn't like that as much, but you know, that's cool. I can get past that.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that bugged me the most was Sansa's escape from King's Landing.
Okay.
Okay. In the show, in the books, Sansa, you know, Ned's killed, Sansa's stuck, the queen won't let her leave. She's got nowhere to go.
Mm-hmm.
And then the knight, the drunken fool, Dantos,
Yeah.
he's the only one that's talking to Sansa.
Mm-hmm.
He comes to her and he's like, I got a plan to get you out. I can get you out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, let's meet at night in the God's Wood. Let's talk here. You know, this is the only place where other people won't hear us. And he's just a drunken fool.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's like, Sansa's like begging him, like Joffrey's terrible to me. I need to get out. Let's leave now. And the whole time Dantos is like, no, we got a plan. We got to wait. We can keep waiting for we got to wait for the wedding night, this and that. And he's always drunk. He's an idiot. And even like Sansa's just not believing him. Sansa's like, okay, you're just lying to me. Like you have no plan. There's nothing. And then like you as a reader are believing that too. Like there's no way she's not going to get out. But, then eventually after the Joffrey's wedding, after Joffrey dies, Dantos gets her out. They get on a boat. And that's where Littlefinger is, on the boat.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, holy crap, it's Littlefinger.
Yeah.
In the show, like after Ned dies, not long after, Littlefinger just walks up to Sansa and he's like, hey, I've got a plan to get you out. I'm like, what? How are you spoiling all that?
Yeah.
You took away all that drama, all of that for just nothing.
Yeah.
Like that is so lame. Like, of course you believe Littlefinger can get her out because, he's an established character. You trust him. You believe, he's resourceful and can probably do that.
Mm-hmm.
Where if it's Dantos, the drunken knight, saying it the whole time for months and months, just promising to get her out.
Yeah.
You don't believe him like I did in the books. Like, well, how's she going to get out? I didn't like that.
Okay.
That one really bugged me. And also, what's his name? Ramsay Snow,
Mm-hmm.
the psycho that skins
Yeah.
Theon, which
Mm-hmm.
Theon deserves all the pain in the world. I hate Theon. But in the show, Littlefinger marries Sansa to Ramsay. And that's where I stopped watching.
Yeah.
It's like, no way he would do that. In the books, she goes with Littlefinger and she stays with Littlefinger, Sansa does, for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And the books end, they're still together.
Yeah.
Like he plans to marry her off to one of some other like northerner,
Mm-hmm.
forget, that could have, give her claim to the north.
Okay.
And like Ramsay is a known crazy psycho. Like
Mhm.
Littlefinger, I don't believe Littlefinger would knowingly put Sansa into danger. And like maybe if I keep watching it would change. But they end up marrying in the books one of they fake an Arya
Mm-hmm.
and marry her to Ramsay, and he
Okay.
tortures her.
Okay.
So I think her name was Jane Poole, which was one of Sansa's friends,
Mm-hmm.
who we thought was like dead the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
We thought they killed her too, but they didn't. They were just keeping her, and they sold her. They married her off to Ramsay, and pretended she was Arya.
Okay.
But again, that's in the last book. So I guess if I kept reading or kept watching, maybe things would be different.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. And it's just, man, there's a lot of boobs and sex. It's like, I don't need all that, man. Like, sure, there's sex in the books, but it's like not that bad.
Yeah.
There's just any excuse to show someone's boobs. You're seeing them. Like, there's no woman is safe.
They do
Except for-
not shy away from any of that.
No.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that you brought this up because it's interesting. I haven't really talked to anybody who's read all the books that hasn't fully seen the show, because
Yeah.
there are parts of this, like some of the differences that I didn't know about. I do have a question for you about, like, you say that by the end of the last book, Sansa is still with Littlefinger.
Mhm.
and you said that he's like a a trustworthy guy. Has he shown any has he shown any of his devious side?
Okay, yeah, trustworthy wasn't the right word.
Okay.
I think I used resourceful too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think what I meant by that was if he comes up and to Sansa and says, "I have a plan to get you out,"
Mm-hmm.
you know that he's true. Like, he's going to get her out.
Yeah.
He's capable of getting her out. I think that's where they screwed up with the show.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if it's some drunken knight or fool saying, "I know how to get you out," I think that adds a little bit more drama to it. But yeah,
Mhm.
he's definitely super deceitful, and I think because he orchestrates like the whole thing. I think
Mhm.
killing John Aaron or getting
Yeah.
Liza to kill John Aaron.
Mm-hmm.
And I think everything starts like he starts the whole drama.
Yeah. Okay. So a few things that I will say, just from my knowledge of the show, is season 5 or around that time was when they ran out of the source material.
Yep.
Which I think what I and a lot of fans of the show believe is DB Weiss and David Benioff, the showrunners, they're not the most talented writers when they don't have something to go off of.
When it's already written for them.
Yeah. So basically the
Yeah.
general consensus of the show is seasons 1 through 4 are pretty much like masterpiece television. And I'm in that.
I would say they were good. Yeah.
Yeah. Having not read the books, I am in that, like,
Mm-hmm.
I would say I'm in that group. I love the first 4 seasons. Seasons 5 and 6, like, sort of fell off. I still like them. Actually, in my personal opinion, I like most of the show. But once they ran out of the source material, it was all just their creative thinking. And the reason that they got the job in the first place was they were able to guess where George R.R. Martin wanted to end the series. But when they first start, like before they even started, the reason they got the job was because he told them like the basic bits of the story and the characters, and they were able to guess where he wanted it to end.
Okay.
But the problem was after they ran out of the source material, it was up to their writing to finish it. And the reason that people are so upset about the last season of the show, which even not seeing it, I'm sure you've heard about season 8, was they just, all of the clever writing that went into the first 4 seasons or so, like all of the clever dialogue between these characters, and it was so much more about, it wasn't about the action as much as it was about the conversations. All of that kind of went out the window because they couldn't make something out of it that they wrote themselves. So they relied way more on action and like, the big set pieces than actually writing good narrative. But
And drama and
yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah, because it's a drama show. It's not. I don't think it's really meant to be like an action show.
For sure. Yeah, I would say the same thing about the books too.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's interesting because season 1 follows book 1,
Mm-hmm.
season 2, book 2, seasons 3 and 4 are one book. Is book 3.
Okay.
So the Red Wedding, Joffrey's death, whatever else happens in season 4.
Mm-hmm.
I was, because this book is packed. This was my favorite one
Yeah.
because there was so much stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, and then book 4 came out in like 2007. And then book 5 came out in like 2011, and that's when the show started.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, they had all their source material
Yeah.
when the show started. So I mean, but I understand they're trying to TVify it, which you got to do.
Yeah.
The other thing I didn't like is how they changed Brienne of Tarth, the
Okay.
big tall blonde
Mhm.
lady. In the show, she's like psycho.
Oh, really?
I mean, she so Catelyn wants her to go find Arya and Sansa,
Mm-hmm.
and then she gets close to Jamie, and Jamie's like, "Yeah, you need to go find them and protect them." She never gets close.
Yeah.
She never finds them. In the show, she's like coincidence after coincidence
Mm-hmm.
finds Arya, loses her, but kills the Hound, which that never happened. But during that fight, she's like just screaming and hacking and going crazy and like begging Arya and Sansa to come with her
Mm-hmm.
and just going full on bananas. Whereas in the book, she wasn't really like that. She was very quiet, very calm, very smart,
Mm-hmm.
and very traumatized, like her. This is just something you could get more out of with books. It's just like her trauma that she had when she was a child and how she is trying to deal with being a girl and not wanting to be a
Mhm.
girl, really wanting, and how people treat her because she's a girl that doesn't want to do girl things.
Mm-hmm.
And none of that, the show just didn't do a very good job of getting that across,
Okay.
where she was just screaming and hacking and
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, it was weird.
Yeah.
She just seemed so desperate, and I don't know, I didn't picture her quite that way in the books. Hey everyone, Justin chiming in here. I ranted about Game of Thrones for a little too long and my camera ended up dying, which I know has happened once before. Don't worry. Jake and I, or with the help of Jake, I've discovered a battery pack that my camera can stay powered forever, and I don't just have to rely on a 2-hour battery life. So that'll be ordered, and we won't have this situation anymore. But yeah, Brienne of Tarth deserved better. She was way cooler in the books. Please read the books. Please read the Witcher books. Those are good too. But yeah, follow Jake and his channel, Gooba and Jetpack. Follow my channel. I'll start uploading again soon, maybe sometime. I don't know. But yeah, anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.